Welcome to part 19, the final part of our Village of Shadows run through Resident Evil The Village. If you watched part 18 all the way to the end, even after I stopped talking and let the cutscene with Chris and Mia run to its conclusion, then you know the last words you heard was, "You don't understand how special he is," as they were talking about Ethan. And here, after seeing in part 17, Ethan's heart be ripped out of his chest, Ethan stands up. That's how special Ethan is.
How did I get here?
That may pose more questions to you than it provides answers. Eveline is going to provide you some answers on how we got here. She's at least going to answer Ethan's questions on how he got here. Don't know how many of your questions it'll answer, but this is a good cutscene.
Eveline? How are you here?
You're dead.
Dead? I mean, Miranda. She... No. I still have to save Rose.
Wrong! It wasn't Miranda. You were always dead.
What are you saying? I can still...
See? Miranda didn't kill you. You mean you didn't think it was weird? No matter how much you got hurt? Remember. "3 years ago, the Baker house. You were murdered by Jack. You died there 3 years ago.
That's impossible. No way.
You shouldn't even be able to walk around.
Quit messing with my head.
You shouldn't be walking.
Screw you! Then what am I? I did all that. Rose. Mia.
Now do you get it? Your whole body is nothing but mold. You can't ever see your family again.
Family. No. Rose. I have to save my daughter.
You're already dead. Dead!
I will save Rose!
So we're making a complete run, a run where we watch every cutscene, kill every foe, read every document, complete as many of the sub quests as we can.
At last, he awakes.
Where am I?
My carriage, Ethan. You were having a nightmare.
Duke?
Your battle with Heisenberg was a sight to see. But to think Miranda would show herself.
How long have I been out?
Not long till dawn.
Duke, I need a favor. Take me to Miranda.
I assumed as much and am already on the way. We should arrive shortly.
Thank you.
But Ethan, are you sure of this? Your body is, well, falling apart.
Yes.
Foolish of me to ask.
Speaking of foolish questions, who or what are you?
Even I can't quite answer that. We're here.
I owe you one.
Mr. Winters, I'm afraid you can't return to your old world any longer. Are you ready?
Yeah. I have to be.
So there's a lot to absorb there. Evelyn's telling us that he's been dead for 3 years. So that begs a big question of exactly how was Rose conceived? I have no answer for that. Mia seemed to know something because she said, "You don't understand how special he is, how special Ethan is," to Chris.
You have sufficient weapons, and I've prepared a special.
The Duke says it was a nightmare. I tend to dismiss that. I just don't. I believe that the Eveline hallucination was what you were supposed to get out of that. I think that's the truth. The Duke also said that you can't go back to his family. You can't go back to his world anymore. So that sort of begs the question, are we not in the real world now? But that seems to be answered. I mean, Chris is in this world. We interact with Chris again, and we interact with
the assemblage of
Miranda.
life and
So,
machine.
and the Duke. So I'm thinking this is really the real world. What he means is he can't go back to his comfortable home of living with Mia and Rose and raising a family.
Thanks.
And I don't know if that's just I take it as more of a metaphorical. You'll never be able to live in that world without knowing, because you lived in that world not knowing that you were made of mold. Now that you know you're made of mold, you'll never be able to live in that world again because you won't know. What I was showing you there is that we did complete enough of the Mercenaries runs. We completed enough tasks there that we got the upgrades for our weapons. And so now our stake is doubled in power. So it was doing 5,000 points of damage. Now it does 10,000 points of damage. After the fight with Sturm, I'm sorry, I always say it wrong, Sturm, and then with Heisenberg, and then Chris's run, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to go fight Miranda without my stake being at whatever maximum it can be. So I'll admit that I didn't know what completing the Mercenaries was going to do. I just knew it said additional weapons upgrades. It's almost like, well, let's find out. And doubling the power of the stake, that's a pretty big upgrade if you ask me. But I'll be honest, after days of almost rage quitting with both Heisenberg and Chris, I was like, what is this battle going to be? Am I going to be able to get through it? Turns out you get to use the stake, and it's
my beautiful
it is.
daughter. Come to me. Is that you? Oh, how I've missed you. What? My power is leaving me.
Rose! Miranda!
Interesting. Your body certainly isn't normal.
Give Rose to me. Now!
You will see. Once I kill you properly, everything...
Get her now! Let go!
I've spent a lifetime creating this moment. And you try to take it away from me. I will take what is due. My desires will be fulfilled! Rose is mine!
What the fuck?
Alright, so final battle time. That cutscene raised a couple of questions for me. One is, Chris bring one bullet? Where the hell did he go? I mean, come on. Could use a few more sniper rounds, couldn't you? And, more importantly, from the lore perspective, I mean, obviously Chris isn't going to interfere in your battle because it's a game and you need to battle Miranda. But what was Miranda? What surprised Miranda more? That when she pulled the baby out of the mold, that it wasn't Eva? I mean, it was. I'm thinking that's one reason for making Rose blonde. Well, I mean, Ethan's blonde, so Rose being blonde isn't too big of a surprise. But at the same time, it means that it can't be Eva. It's not going to be Eva that she pulls out. And it's also an infant, not a 9-year-old. So I don't know, but I don't know whether or not Miranda was expecting an infant or a 9-year-old. But in any case, she seems clearly surprised. But what she says is, my powers are going away from me. So Rose is draining those powers in some way.
Mr. Winters,
I mean, is her surprise? Is her surprise that it's Rose and not Eva, or is her surprise that her powers are being drained from her? Because if it's the latter, then maybe Eva is inside of Rose in some way, in some portion. Maybe the ritual has worked and Eva is actually part of Rose.
I understand.
And of course, we've already played the DLCs. If you watched our Shadows of Rose runs, we did both a speed run and a hardcore run.
My daughter will be made
If you've watched those, you have some impression of who Rose is at least 16 years from now.
A century, all for this day.
But that question is still kind of hanging in my head. Is Eva still buried in there inside of Rose somehow, some way? Is that the kind of the darker side of Rose that we're not necessarily seeing all the time? But here you can see that the fully upgraded S.T.A.K.E, doing 10,000 points of damage, made this not nearly the battle that the last two segments, the last three videos, Sturm, Heisenberg, and Chris, were all much harder than this battle. I'm thinking this battle wouldn't have been as bad. Maybe it would have been twice as bad if our gun wasn't doing twice as much damage. But even at twice as bad, this battle would not have been nearly as hard as the last bits were. So if you get past the Chris thing, you're home free, in my opinion. You'll get your Village of Shadows medal. That pretty much does it for the gameplay. It's all cutscenes from here on out. I'll stay with you in case there's something to say, but other than this just being a very satisfying moment in the gameplay,
It's all right, Rose.
when you know you've finished your Village of Shadows run and Ethan has Rose in his arms. That's a great thing. Of course, there are plenty more content as far as Capcom's concerned for you to watch. Chris is going to come in here.
Ethan! Ethan!
I'm sorry I only had one bullet, Ethan.
Come on, Ethan, wake up.
Chris,
Ethan, you did it. It's finished.
I think we've finished each other.
Now, when you
Ethan, gotta move.
complete challenges and achievements inside the game, you get CP challenge points, I guess they call them. And you can spend those CPs in the bonus menus to buy different things. One of the things that you can buy are various different figurines, little 3D figures that are static, but you can move them around. They don't have any sound. Previous games had sound to them too, but there's no sound in them.
Keep moving, Ethan.
But they call
that thing that'll blow this whole village
this
sky high.
Miranda's Berserk
Look at
form.
me. When I hit this trigger, we can't be anywhere near it.
So this huge...
Ah, damn it.
To me, this was the Mega Mycete rising up. I mean, it looked like the
She's
same
alive, you hear
embryo
me?
type thing that Chris found underneath the ground,
Mia,
up in the sky. But they tie that to being Miranda. So I'm not sure what that means. And I don't know if it's just them saying what came after Miranda's fight. But they have different versions of Miranda. They have Miranda before
Come on,
she
it's not that much
transforms,
further.
Miranda in her transformed, in her spider mode, in her flying mode. And then they have this Miranda fully
teach her to be strong.
fully evolved model.
God damn it.
So I don't know exactly what that hints to in where the series is going to go in the next game either.
Goodbye, Rosemary.
To me, the big glaring open when all the gameplay was done, the big open questions I had was, how was Rose conceived? Is Evelyn Eva inside of Rose in some way? Did any part of that ritual actually stick and take? Is there a dark side to Rose? And is this the only mold? Is this the only Mega Mycete? Or is this just some form of Miranda in the Mega Mycete? Those are the big open questions. I guess you might want to add that how's the BSAA fall into all this? But they seem to have ignored BSAA completely in Resident Evil 7. And it's only tangentially mentioned here kind of at the end. So, of course, it's all through the animated movies. And it was, huge parts of Revelations and Revelations 2.
Wait! Where's Ethan?
Get moving. We have to get clear.
No! We can't go, not without my husband!
Mia, sit down and strap in.
Not before you tell me where Ethan is. I know he wouldn't abandon us. Tell me what's going on. Where?
There's one other kind of, maybe it's a minor point, but in the Shadows of Rose play, Rose says at one point she hadn't seen her mother in quite some time, in quite a while.
Sit down.
Where is our 16-year-old Rose
Where is he?
that she hasn't seen Mia in a while? And what's Mia doing?
What
Somehow-
have you done?
He's gone.
Somehow something's missing there. I don't know how many of these questions will be answered in Requiem, or any of them will be answered in Requiem.
I'm sorry.
I am looking forward to it.
Captain, you need to see this. BSAA didn't send soldiers. This is a bioweapon.
The hell were they thinking?
But here's where the BSAA thing came in, was kind of all with the
Orders,
Chris
Captain.
stuff. And
Pick up the rest of the
BSAA
squad.
using bioweapons, that's kind of...
Plot a course for BSAA
Weird.
Europe HQ. Someone's got to pay.
So that's pretty much the end of the game. They clearly consider this the 8th installment of the mainline content, though that doesn't include Revelations and Revelations 2, which they also say is canon, but they say is kind of a sidetrack of canon. So they don't tell the book story here until they get to the very end, at the very end of the book. The reason I let it run is because, well, A, it's just gorgeous visuals. So, but B, because at the end of the book, they give you the rest of the story. So they finish the Book of Shadows, if you will, the bedtime story. I mean, she is singing the story, but I mean, you don't have Mia's voice over telling the story. But at the end, when they get to where it ended at, where the original cutscene at the very beginning of the game, where that ends, they finish the book with a narrator rather than this singing. I like the singing fine, but the narration's obviously clear. The voice acting in this game was really, really good. I thought really good.
Gifts we gave, but more you took, she snarled. So more in turn is due. In a blink, the girl was trapped inside a mirror. Her parents, though, had searched all day and at last arrived. With rampant rage, Father fought the witch, while Mother's loving touch shattered the dark enchantment. But the witch was strong, and Father yelled, "Save our daughter!" So Mother bore their child to safety as the forest was consumed. Even now, the burnt forest is a grim reminder of Father's sacrifice. To this day, any child who stares too long into the charred wasteland will be haunted by nightmares of getting lost while picking berries.
Okay, so now for the actual credits. I obviously sped it up. If you can read that, then you're a speed reader. But, you know, it actually helps with the book story. You can watch the book story play through a little bit quicker. It makes it have a little bit more continuity, or at least it did for me. I'm not sure I completely understand the book story, but I think it has to do with Miranda and Eva, the village getting sick. I'm a little confused because it seems like the daughter's still alive and the father has turned. It seems a little odd. So maybe that wasn't supposed to be. Of course, there's the Epilog with 16-year-old Rose. If you've watched our Shadows of Rose playthroughs, then you know how she got the wedding ring.
Do you think the little boy will be able to touch the moon?
Nobody can touch the moon. It's too far away.
Wait, what if he has a rocket ship?
Okay, then you can touch it, but it'd be very, very cold.
You were being silly. I don't think the moon feels like a
It does. But if
People have dissected and argued back and forth the meaning of the prologue in so many different ways. I don't know that I have much to add to the conversation. Obviously, after you've played Shadows of Rose, so a lot of the conversation was done before Shadows of Rose came out, and then Shadows of Rose, the DLC, came out, and some of those questions were answered, but some are not. Who's the guy at the end of the road?
Happy birthday.
Obviously, as she's saying that, she feels there's a chance that he's hearing her.
Sorry I missed last
Because
week. I have a lot of tests coming up.
The entities inside the
You know how it is.
Megamycete that have been recorded by having died there or died with them in contact with it
Talk of the goddamn
have
devil.
been influential throughout her whole life. And so
Close.
there's no particular reason to believe that they're not still there and that she's actually talking to him and knows he can hear it. This whole interaction with
Yeah.
show you things that Chris doesn't even know. It implies that she's still somehow tied in with Chris's organization.
We have a situation. You're needed.
I don't know what kind of situation you would need this 16-year-old girl for.
Never call me that again.
She's only barely at this point recognized what her own powers are.
Things even Chris doesn't know I can do.
This sort of hints that some of the powers that we see she has inside the Megamycete consciousness may translate into some powers outside the Megamycete consciousness. Of course, Miranda had been dead for a long time too, and had been basically a mold construct. Ethan was a mold construct,
You're a lot like him.
and so there are mold constructs that are existing out here in the real world.
I know.
When she says that this time, you know, the first time she said that, I'm like, how would she know? She was 6 months old, but no, she just got back from meeting him, holding him, and talking to him. Most of the debate centers around who this guy at the end of the road is. I go with the simplest answer that he's the person that the guy was talking to in his earbud, saying that I have your back and stand down. You know, I don't. So I think he was just a sniper that was there to shoot Rose if Rose went out of control, which ties in with my whole concept of is Eva still part of Rose. This tells us the father's story is done. So there's our achievements. I hope you've really enjoyed this game. We really, very did. We played it almost 200 hours, and it was the whole 200 hours. Looking forward to the next one. We'll see you on the next game.